Hey guys, welcome back to Maverick's Arcade. As you know, my name's Chuck, and today I have my wife Jenna who's joining me. And pretty much she's hanging out in the basement, so I said I want to record, and she said, okay, so this is the first time she's on camera, and I might be able to get her to do some other things too. I don't know. So anyway, as the title of the video suggests, I lied, but it wasn't on purpose. I've had a couple of people email me asking about how to use the U360 joysticks with extra buttons. It seems like someone's trying to make one of those competition controllers for like PlayStation or so forth. Now, I'm not sure if the device would be recognized properly by the PlayStation, but they were talking about adding buttons. One user was talking about adding buttons to the joystick, and another user was talking about having these joystick outputs go straight to a controller card without using USB. Now, I mistakenly told them it only can be USB. That's the only way that this device connects. And then I realized I wanted to check on it because of, again, a second person came saying the same thing. And when I checked on it, I realized I was wrong. So I wanted to correct the record and explain this functionality and why this joystick is actually even cooler than I thought. So again, this is the U360 joystick. Now, one thing that does look different about this one is it's got restrictor plate on it, because I was using this with a ServoStik motor to do a restrictor plate. Now, originally Andy said that this was not supported and not an officially supported feature. It's not what the ServoStik was designed for. And then when I went to London, him and I were talking, and I see recently he had said that, you know, this is something that he now supports doing. So awesome. I also did take the opportunity to tell him about that guy that did the center fire joystick with all the various features. And at one point we were discussing making the U360s into flight sticks. And I don't know if it was off of our discussion that he went that route, or if it was just, you know, he was already considering it, whatever the route may be. I was very surprised when I was going to research this joystick to see that he is now offering a flight stick functionality for the U360. So let me flip over to that screen so you can see what I was talking about. So I'm browsing the website, and as I was scrolling down, you can see here, there's a new flight stick version. So what this is instead of having the ball top, it has this casing with two buttons on it. Now, the part that threw me off is you can see there's a little cable going from the bottom of the joystick now over to this block here. And I was like, okay, so that means through this joystick's USB connection, it's also transmitting the trigger and this top button, which got me thinking about the other two users that have been having problems. So I took a look at my U360 joystick, and as you can see here, on this side, there are 10 pins. So I'm going to hold it up to the camera here. You can see those 10 pins right there. Again, for the top camera, yeah, right there. So I was checking out what these pins were for, and then we're going to go back to the website here, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I have another page already up. So it's saying the use of the 10-pin port. So it has two ways. It can be either an input or an output. In output mode, it is actually sending the signals of left, right, up, and down directly to a controller board like the iPack or even a third-party controller board. It acts like a standard switch would in a normal joystick. So, and that's what he's describing here on the page for the U360. So that's input mode, where, well, that's output mode, and it's showing that that's how, where is it right here? So yeah, the downside to using the output mode is it makes your analog joystick become a up, down, left, right joystick that functions more like a switch. So you lose the analog functionality altogether, which kind of defeats the purpose of having a nice analog joystick. The other mode that this joystick would act as is import mode or input mode. And it automatically detects how you're using this. So if you're outputting to a card for standard up, down, left, right commands, it will detect that automatically and be in that mode. So you can plug it into a standard board that way. With the input mode, what that means is just like you're hooking up your normal joysticks, you can scroll down here and you can see the pinout pattern. And you can see pin 1 is missing. So on the joystick here, if you're looking at the bottom, it's this missing pin here. So what you would then do is below the missing pin, you would plug in that ground cable. Now this is the same place in your arcade currently where you have that one cable that daisy chains through all your buttons. That would plug onto this pin. Then each pin itself is its own button. So button, the third pin would then be button 1, fourth pin is button 2, all the way down, so you can have 8 extra buttons. What that means is if we had our test panel, we could have our joystick here and imagine a test panel right here. We could have the joystick here, and then we could have 8 buttons tied to this joystick, wired through this joystick, and importing into our computer or other device through the USB connection. So this USB connection would show the joystick commands in an analog format and the 8 extra buttons. Now, this is again the software, the ServoStik software that allows you to program those analog sensitivities. So that would still come into play. The part that had always thrown me off in the past was when I was working with the arcade software or the joystick software. It always showed, sorry, I'm scrolling in the wrong direction. Probably getting everybody headaches. A little bit dizzy. So in the controller software, you would always see, I'm not seeing where it is. Installation info, there it is. So whenever it would show this joystick, it would show those 8 buttons underneath, and that would always confuse me because I was only aware of the axis, the X and the Y axis on an analog mode. But that's why it does show 8 buttons, is because this jumper ports will allow those 8 buttons to function. So again, oh, and then the one other question that someone had was when they have the 8 extra buttons, how would you then use LED blinky to light those? Now, that functionality, what I answered to the other person was correct, that if they wanted to use an iPack, Ultimate iPack, then they might as well just put the buttons through the Ultimate iPack and light them through LED blinky the normal way. But for the user that was trying to do the self-contained joystick that would then just plug into USB, they could do that and have the 8 buttons and the joystick be functioning that way, but the lit lights would not work that way unless they directly powered them through a battery in the thing or in their joystick setup. Or if they wanted it computer controlled, they would need to have either an iPack or the smaller LED controllers that would require an extra USB connection and a power source to power the LED bulbs. So you could have the 8 lights chained off of here, but as far as lighting them, you would need a separate LED controller to handle that. But again, I realized I was wrong. I realized out. I know. Did you want to grab the joystick and do that to me?
Shame, shame, shame.
Be happy. At least I don't have to be naked for that part. Yeah. So.
Not on camera.
Yeah, not on camera. Again, it's been so long. I know we were going to talk about that. So anyway, like I said, I was giving out some wrong information. I wanted to correct the record. And again, I want to make sure that if I am giving out bad information, I want to learn the correct information quickly and get that information updated and out to you correctly. So I know. I try to be honest and all that stuff. So the other project I'm still working on is I'm still trying to build up the Mortal Kombat Ultimate setup, because a bunch of people have been asking about that. Again, if you want to help out with that, I do have Patreon. I do have PayPal, so let me know, and I will tell you where to send that, and then hopefully get the funds to build all that stuff. Because, of course, doing all this isn't cheap. It is fun, but it is not cheap. Any other questions, let me know at mavericksarcade@gmail.com. And again, thanks for watching. Yes, and Jenna says goodbye.
Bye.
Make sure to check out the links above for some of my other videos and definitely smash that subscribe button. Also, make sure to turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any episodes. I'm continually trying to grow this channel, so make sure to like, comment, and share on all your favorite social media platforms. To find more content for this channel, check out the following locations. YouTube is the primary location where I publish the final versions of my how-to videos. I use Facebook for communication, notices about upcoming videos, behind-the-scenes pictures and videos, and the occasional live stream. For live streams, I primarily use Twitch, as it generally provides the least latency for the closest to real-time response rate currently available. I will occasionally multicast to Facebook and Twitch at the same time, but Twitch generally seems to have the least delay, so I prefer it for streaming events. And as always, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.